Hello everyone and welcome back once again to Gary Grigsby's War in East, where I'm playing as the Soviets against my Axis opponent. And let's go for the events. We have the Partisans and the Yanks arrive. On January 26, 1942, the first American forces arrive in Europe, landing in Northern Ireland. The 133rd Infantry Regiment of the 34th Infantry Division was the first United States Army unit sent to Europe in World War II. The 1st Battalion arrived in Belfast, followed by the rest of the regiment in February. These units were designated as U.S. Army Northern Ireland Forces, or Magnet Forces. The 133rd and 168th Infantry Regiments trained in the Peat Bogs and performed border guard patrols between British Northern Ireland and the neutral Irish Free State. The American 8th Air Force was activated in the 8th Bomber Command. 8th BC was sent to England on February 22nd. The 8th BC was established at RAF Dawes Hill in High Wycombe. Alright, let's go and take a look up. Bam. No attacks, no attacks, no attacks, no attacks, no attacks, no attacks, no attacks. Ay. Okay, well, if it's only 2 attacks, it's not too bad. Alright, so mostly attrition losses, I guess. Alright, let's... I mean, I have exactly the same here, so... Oof, these are doing pretty bad. Let's send some of these to reserve, and I'll send some new ones over to Sevastopol. And... let's see... Alright. Currently have 38 IAD, so I can just bring air groups. And again, I'll go for just fighter. Let's look at morale. High morale, high experience. That does the trick. 94 morale is pretty good. I already have some planes there. Okay, apparently I can do more, so that's great. I also need to look at the amount of units that are ready. Fuck that. Let's also look at fighter bombers. I want to get them to 100. I need more planes there. How about experience? This only has 90 ready, that's not too great. Yeah, and then I want to have as many of them under the 38th IAD. Should have actually taken something more, but see, 38, 38th. There's already guards, so that's nice. 38th. They have higher morale, I guess. Can't do that anymore, so let's go to 39. Can't do that anymore, so let's go to 8th, which I also cannot do. Second RAG. Which I now also can't do anymore. Let's leave the rest under Black Sea Fleet Air Command. I just need the planes there, and if we're looking at I need air superiority. It is I'd say just entire Black Sea Air Command. Staging base is Sevastopol. Yep. Anything that can fly. And let's look at the oof. Okay, so they are truly isolated now. Still, I guess my attacks, sadly, weren't enough. I mean, I'm actually dealing quite a bit of damage to his planes too, although I'm also losing a lot. If we're looking at air losses in total, my opponent has lost a total of 3,467 planes. Which is actually not that bad. If we look at total planes from my opponent, it's now down to 2,000 here. So I would say the fighting over Sevastopol is relatively heavy in that regard, but okay. I wouldn't, yeah. I actually think my opponent is actually rather likely to go and attack in that particular area. Okay, I actually think I can spread out a bit. But let's see about the defenses. Because going into the swamps almost immediately means that I'm going to be fine there. And Most certainly want to take any hex I can get. A hex like this is kind of difficult in that regard. You've refitted. So I actually want to get them over here. Now both of these are a 5. Keep the defenses going a bit. I actually need a unit down in here too. So what I'll do is this, you in here. That's a bit weird, but I'll put them under 12th Army. This is now called Crimean Front, which I do find interesting as well. Crimean Front, by the way, is at 72. Okay. I think I want to have these double. And then I don't necessarily need to go into this hex because they're likely to attack with both of them, but I'll see if my opponent is going to retreat. I can leave it open. I'm not feeling too worried about it, to be honest, for the moment. There's a 5th Army unit here. That's weird. Let's put you on the 12th. You onto the 5th. Here we go. Yep, let's put the mechanized there for the moment. Should be fine. Both of these actually need to refit, which I will, because both of these are an outright disaster being so low. I mean, so I have to hold that front with a few less forces, but luckily my opponent, well, it's nice that they gave in a little bit, to be honest. This really sucks though, but I can only hope that over time I will actually win that air war, although my opponent is giving it his all. Fair enough. Okay, next up, quite a few of this are in better shape, which is nice. Some of these are doing quite poorly. I would even say let's start with toggling roads on, and then I also want to take a look at the map like this. Alright, so there's nothing particular going on around down here. Should be fine like this. Now I guess another nice thing about this blizzard is that my opponent is throwing planes at it and he's losing them, supposedly. So for this battle we can see that air losses for my opponent, a lot of them are due to flak or operational losses. It's just not a good area to be in. Actually some 190 ace. I probably can't see what that is, what kind of type that is, but Either way, even then, losses like these are pretty good. A 2-to-1 ratio is kind of nice, and my opponent is losing more guns, so I'm actually quite happy about the way that's being run. Can probably move this division in there. Don't like these though, so I'll have to back it up with something powerful. I also want to put units here and here. It's certainly something for the 44th Army to be taken care of, although again this is a big mess. Okay. Let's go and can't cross the river. I'll just put this cavalry here, which is in terrible shape, but I don't see these guys attacking here, and even if they do, that makes them lose all their movement. So in that sense, I'm actually kind of fine about it, and this is some decent defense too. So kind of like that, and I'll reinforce them further. Two infantry divisions. But I actually feel like it would not have been enough. This is okay. Again, seems like my opponent is just, you know, putting all of his planes in the middle of the blizzard. And he is like losing 30 planes on that. Must just be a nightmare. Well, you don't hear me complaining about it. For my opponent to have these double stacks, it does mean that I'll be having quite a bit of difficulty in getting around here. I really want to have some powerful stacks trying to deal with these. I don't think I can take those, but I think I can handle these if I bring some powerful units there. Let's take this guards out. 12 guards in. Mm, 5-1 advantage. Let's see, because you're a 2.97 like that, and you're a 2.45, 2.22. So let's take out the rifle division. Put in the guards. I'm gonna put them in their second shock. Let's see if southern front isn't overburdened. It's not. And then also if I can put some decent support units. Probably not. Well, I have these. That's about it. How about second shock? They have a tank brigade. Ooh. And also a machine gun battalion. This will prove quite useful. And it wasn't as spectacular as I might have hoped. Also no planes flying out this time. Well, shame really. 3 infantry divisions combined having 18,000 men. Well, well, well. Okay. I want some marginally powerful units in there too. Because my opponent is very likely to go and attack onto that hex. So a 9 is not super amazing, but I guess it does something. I'll also fill up these 2 places afterwards. Currently just looking where I can do some attacks potentially, and wow, seems like my opponent is kind of moving behind the river here. That's fair, and I would have a hard time defeating this, by the way, but nice. Panzer 3Js, perfect. Not gonna be able to attack these, but I don't think I wanna actually hold that place with the guards. I think what I do wanna do, I mean, going around is no use, really. Really need to see if there's something there. Or I could just attack these again. Basically, by this point, I feel it's probably better not to be greedy. Whoa. Seems like I was kind of greedy. I wonder though. whether I shouldn't reinforce and then try to attack this infantry division. I actually think I'm better off just not doing that. But I also think it's interesting to see what I can do with something like a breakthrough here. So I'm just gonna put the guards here for the moment. Because if we're looking at weather air, it's gonna retain that harsh winter, those storms. Any breakthrough that I can make towards this side is gonna be great. I expect my opponent to be having some difficulty retaining offensive operations throughout the next year, given that he is less than 3 million men at this point. But we'll see how it goes. Not everything actually refitted quite well, so certainly something to take into consideration. Not attacking here or along here. These aren't even that powerful, but I'm weaker. 2-to-1 odds are not good enough. So, not attacking in any of those places, really. I tried to attack here last time, which was also a disaster. And the same actually applied to many of these areas. I just need to be patient, at least for the moment. And only again area where I might want to attack is in these light woods. Or this here one depot, but then again it's a rather unfortunate area to try and hold. Alright, well, I guess that's it for the attacks, actually. Might be reasonable, but actually I think that's gonna be great. This one actually has a German mountain division, so I'm certainly not attacking there either. Let's work on a rail line. Actually not even all that many places where I can work on it, but I guess what I will do with these as well is start working down from Melitopol, so I can get it to Genichesk there. Let's take a look at the reserves. There's probably not even all that much that I can do with these. They're many of these are not even close to 75. I only got like 2 here. a third. So that's actually quite tricky, and I don't really see anything in between. These are all still at 0. I kind of wanted to keep those there. Quite a few howitzers that get to be sent to the map, at least here. And anti-tank. As before. Don't even remember if I was making more anti-tank units. But I certainly start getting at least a majority of my support units out onto the map, except for the tanks, which are taking quite a bit more time. Which is fine. All the mortars. Really not sure what the deal is with all these units, like they're literally not getting anything, but it's just weird. Really wonder what it has to do with other stuff filling up first, but I really don't understand why they don't get anything at all, but you're right, let's take a look at these. They're actually fine. Transcox is also fine. Have to send again more planes. I'll send another 5 air groups. So another 100 planes this time, which should be enough to again cover that air war. I actually have a lot of them already, but they really must not be doing super well or something. Not sure. As long as things are fine on the ground, though. Okay, let's at least get you up in here. These are all looking fine. These are fine. Those are fine. these aren't. Just like these. So I'm gonna get that cavalry out too. Crap. I have no use for that cavalry there. So you will get disbanded. And I'll put a unit here. There we go. All of these are 12,000, so that's super nice. Let's get you refit in, and I'll just put you on the ready for now up in here. You can be ready. Alright, there's some units here. Like these, which can go and deal with that stuff. All of these are also looking nice. Sweet. Like if these as a reserve, then they can technically turn into a core, and once I've done that, I can actually start, you know, working my way around this area too. But I'll get there later, I guess. Got to 91, 11,000. These guys are nearly falling apart. Kind of like those, but I do think this mountain unit is doing worse. And this puts them at 14 too. It's closer to. I don't think my opponent is going to attack that quickly, but we'll see. Stavka, yeah. Okay, you are not on a refit. Great. For shock, huh? Is there anything here that is really pressing? I guess this rifle division. Okay, so that takes care of that. They actually get to stay on refit, whereas these will go on ready. Okay, let's get you in here to up the defenses a little bit. They can stay on that. That's good. You're still at 72, so 39th Army is also these guys. They still need to gain combat prep points, so I also just leave those guys there under their current condition. Next up is the Kalinin front. With the 56th Army. Those units. I actually would rather say that these need to stay there, gain more combat prep points with the way they currently are. Two cavalry, huh? Well, the 4th Reserve Army is full, I guess, so kind of makes sense. They also need to regain combat prep points, but they might not need to be on refit like these. They'll disband turn 34. Shame. They really don't need to refit. Okay, all of these are under the 56th, all of that here. Then you are doing okay-ish. If there are units that are doing very bad here on the front, which is not the case. I'll just leave it like that. 49th, huh? Many units that could benefit from getting a few more combat prep points or something. I actually think the 336th being at 81. Should help a bit. These guys are also at 5, so that's nice. That's this army. Hmm. 89 on, we'll see. Both of those should be gaining combat per points. 3 and a 4. Let's actually take you out. Put you under the Moscow defense zone. And put you there. They'll be a bit weaker, but they do have 1,000 men more than they do. Seem to be a little bit better, just slightly. Then add Motorizing. That's rather weak, but okay. Let's take out the 261st. Put you there. Put you on a refit. You there. These also need to get out of here. I can just as easily put them under the Moscow defense zone. Just get them into Moscow for refitting. So let's take out both ones. Put them in the 1st Reserve Army. Oof. Put 2 on the 20th. Refit both of them. You shouldn't be refitting. But I'll take out this 8,000 units, part of 11th. So 3rd, it's 1st, okay. This is just better for defense, and many of those units that they have currently here are just pathetic already. Kalin front could take 2 more units, which is nice, which means that I'll have both of these go under the 11th Army. Nice restructuring like that, and perfect. Yeah, that stuff's like pretty solid. It also means that this unit on the 4th reserve can probably relieve some here. Like, those ones are absolutely disastrous. Third Reserve Army. Go. Let's move the mechanized, move you into Kaluga for refitting. Out with the bad, in with the new. Wow, I still have 200 BT5s, huh? Look at this stuff. I have quite a few old tanks still. 665 T26s in the pool here. I actually don't have that many of them down there anymore. I have a lot of flame tanks and old T38s, I guess. Funny that. They'll be replaced eventually. Either way, that's it for the Kalinin front. 72 to 32 here. Western front is also fully loaded. Starting with this. Put you on the 20th. Just too much. But then I can put one of these under the 24th. I think. Sure. Don't like having the tank unit immediately on the front line, but none of these can support except 14th rifle, I guess, to get the tanks out. Not the greatest substitute, but I'll take it. They'll need to stay. 24th. that's a bit of a nightmare. Okay. Guess they also turned into 1.95. But at least they have slightly more men. Let's oh shit. I was hoping to switch a few of these up. 24th is okay, but 61st is now overburdened. Let's go third shock. The thing that I need in between here is another army, and I think I have it. In the form of 8th Army here. Western Front is quite overburdened. Eighth and 8th. Alright, so you're 20, you're 20. You're at 18. Still have too many units. Let's just do it like this for the moment. It's a bit weird, but should be okay at that point. I guess I have the 158th that can go out currently. Which I guess is an improvement over these. First. Now where do I need that a little bit more? Okay, I could put it here, but okay, let's take these. move these over here. So let's move you into Zukinishki for some refitting too. I still have a lot of units here that need to be refitted just generally. Alright, I'll be taking a break from all this reorganization, but it's going well. I'm kind of happy and still have to take care of the south before the mud comes, but it's not that bad. Alright. Thanks for watching, and I'll meet you soon. Hey, Lovana, and welcome back after that break. I'm here with, well, after the reorganization, I guess, I moved around a couple of units. There were a few units on the rail that I decided to go and move down, because what I want to do is, now that these guys are isolated, it seems like my opponent is trying to go for the kill here. I don't think he can use these forces effectively to take this, but I want to break the siege or at least encircle the German forces so that for a while they still actually cannot attack. Still hope to prevent him from taking Sevastopol altogether, but that's going to be difficult, I guess, now that it's isolated. Alright, so there is one last attack that I wanted to make, which is this one against the Romanian unit. And I actually have some tank brigades here, making it super nice. Oh, you got a tank brigade, okay. And these have some pretty good numbers. Whoop. Those guys pretty weak. I was even contemplating attacking like this. It's a shame they cannot go in here, otherwise that would have been a lot easier. Let's get one. Ooh. Very nice. I cannot exploit it, so it's not the most amazing, but I did cause around 2,200 casualties in terms of the Romanians, and well, I would like to take them down as much as possible as well, because any unit that he cannot use for defense with the Axis allies, he will have to fill it up with German units, and that means that he cannot make double stacks like in here in order to protect his more vulnerable units. So that works kind of nice. Of course, I cannot go in here any further, sadly. Well, no. I could potentially... Yeah, that's not gonna work. Did I already push them back? No, I didn't. Well, I mean, I pushed the enemy infantry from this area. No planes came out. I would imagine these Romanian mountain brigades, like, they can be there, but it doesn't actually do anything. They'll just lose another 2,000. Axis losses, not so great this time as the other turns, but yeah, we're working on it. Looking at the metrics, victory points, initiative, of course the same, Axis high watermark, total men, total guns, quite a lot of extra guns for my opponent here. Total AFVs, total aircraft. Manpower losses, gun losses, AFE losses. That's the most important. Manpower pool for my opponent going down. And armaments pool also still going up. Well, I guess my opponent will be making armaments at places like this research protection. Either way. Well, they still have entire Europe, so it kind of makes sense. It's actually a bit interesting that as the Russians, I mean, you can get into the Balkans, sure, but you cannot go into northern Italy. I actually would think it's pretty funny if you could actually do something like that and then link up with the Allies in northern Italy or something, and or invade France, liberate France as the Russians, if you could. That is, that'd be pretty funny. But I'm not even close. Although my opponent is behind on capturing territory, of course. Either way, I actually even think, like, if you're playing the early loss and victory rules and stuff, I actually like you have to have a certain amount of points as the axis. Let me actually take a look. Alright, so that stuff is neat here. You need 525 actually as high water mark. My opponent has 522, so he technically would still need to recapture some stuff. Could just be these two, even just to not lose, but that's not the greatest position to be in terms of high water mark. But how much defense? 40. All right. Either way, I'm gonna shoot it back over. One thing I also did in preparation of potentially cutting my opponent off here is I got some level bombers, and I got them here, but I also got them here, so that's in total 200. I want to try and use them to bomb these ports because my opponent is getting supplies in those ports, and if I cut him off, that's going to be his only point of supply. And I want to bomb those ports to deny him more supplies in the Crimea when they're cut off. But I'm quite sure that he can prevent me from having it cut off all the time in 1942 when he gets his manpower back up and stuff. So currently I'm just trying to get the total number below or keep it below 3 million, which is, I guess, pretty rough, but that's okay, I guess. Yeah, I'll ship it back and we'll see. February 1st. There are some places where I unfortunately cannot go, like here, because there's just maybe like, yeah, probably he will attack in other places at that point. This is a 23. Yeah, it's just gamble. Ah, shit. 7, huh? I certainly need 3 divisions in there at least. So give me a 9. That's a bit better. That would also mean I can attack here. It seems like he's made the wise decision to put the Italians together with an infantry division, but alright. Certainly cannot go on here. I know he has a unit there. It's just not feasible at all. But every hex I can take will allow me to get more attrition on his stuff, so it's pretty good. I want another depot at Pohar. This can go to a 3. I need a lot more depots at the front, actually, because that allows me to not use trucks but horse carriages. Alright. Let's put a depot here. Here. I know they can't flow there yet, but it's fine. Especially here, things are a bit tricky. That's also why I put this NKPS to go down there work on that stuff. So get it over to Genichesk and potentially caught off Germans there. It's a real possibility. Could technically move into these hexes already. Maybe I just should. Just a little bit afraid of these units. I would also wager that this 22nd Air Landing doesn't really like attacking, most likely, but we'll see. Because this might actually get me closer to this rail. I wouldn't be surprised if they actually have this rail done quite nicely. It's just one brigade, but I actually think that in the swamps it's probably too much still. Although I think I should really try, because it's a Romanian cavalry. Like, how powerful can they possibly be? Even here. Yeah, indeed. Okay. It was a bit of a fluke, but I did need more forces to wear them down. This allows me to take another 2 hexes on this side. I'm charging any taken hex at this point. Any cavalry that I could use just to go in here? Might or might not have it. Probably not. Could use the mechanized. Yeah. They'll be weak, but it's okay. Just put them under staff for the moment. Alright. Yeah, that's pretty good. That means I do have control as well over all those swamp eggs down there. And I like that exceedingly much. It is a bit difficult, of course, with the 113th Infantry Division, which is undoubtedly a fresh division. So quite sure these guys are not as powerful as it looks here. Also, given they've just lost 1100, so they're down to 6,000 cavalry, and they also have the pioneers. So 40 guns lost. It's also pretty good. Mostly pioneer losses, indeed. Mortars, machine guns, anti-tank guns. Alright. Not an amazing turn, but my offensive is definitely grinding to a halt here. It's only 1942 early, so I'm not expecting miracles yet. The closest victory points would be Kiev here too, and Odessa. Can go a long way without getting any victory points in here. Alright, thanks for watching. Take care. See you next time. Bye-bye.